The stage is set, the teams selected. Team LeBron, Team Giannis, ready to go.
Some call it pressure, but it's passion, simple and plain.
Nice feed and the hometown kid.
I take your city while you busy, stuck in your lane.
Was that a message?
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Mitchell is cooking right now. Raining threes here. Mitchell and Tatum. 55 for Jason Tatum. A three-pointer can win it for Team Giannis. Lillard for the win. Yeah. There you go. Team Giannis wins it tonight in Salt Lake City, Utah.
All-Star Weekend's in the books, and we are going to get into all of it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into First Take. Brian Windhorst, Windy, top of the morning to you. Stephen A. with a new sport code. Okay, I see you.
What's
How
up, Snow White?
guys?
What's going on, Snow White? How you doing?
You
How you
need
doing?
to
It's good
stop
to see you.
saying that because you're going to
Snow
remind
White.
people that I repeat this dress. This dress
Okay.
just stays in my office, to be honest with you, and it's my
all right.
go-to, and I wear
Hey,
it way too
listen,
often.
hey, listen, I
So
didn't
we
bring
can't
up
call
all
me
of
that
that
anymore.
I didn't bring up all of that. I didn't talk about what you leave in your closet and you refer to on a weekly basis because you forget an outfit because you wearing sweatsuits and jogging all the time and all of this other stuff. All I said was
I
Snow
love
White.
sweatsuits.
That's all I said. What's
Thank
up,
you.
Wendy? How you doing, my brother? What's going on?
How's it going, Mr. Smith?
Let's get
What's
into it.
going
I just
on?
have to say one thing. If I could live in one article of clothing, I guess that's two. My entire life, every day, it would be a sweatsuit. Like nothing is
You could always
better
try to blaze a
than
look.
your-
You could always try to blaze a look like this. I mean, it is pretty dapper. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Once I get
Yeah.
your paychecks, I'll work on that.
You-
Okay,
you-
guys, a Walmart sweatsuit. The Celtics, Jason Tatum scores All-Star record 55 points. Tatum, the game's MVP, scored 27 points in the third quarter to lead Team Giannis to a 184-175 win over Team LeBron. Tatum shot 22 for 31 from the field with 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Here's Tatum on his record-setting evening.
When did you know that this was going to be a history-making night?
I really didn't know. I didn't know what the record was. And some way mid through the fourth quarter, Dame was like, yo, the record is 52. I had like 49. And then I was like, it kind of hit me like, breaking history in the moment is a cool thing.
All right, the Celtics star broke the record for most points in an All-Star game previously held by Anthony Davis, who scored 52. That was in the 2017 All-Star game. On top of the 55 points, Tatum became the first Celtic to win the All-Star game MVP since Larry Bird back in '82. Now, Mike Malone was less celebratory, fellas. The coach for Team LeBron, which lost to Team Giannis in the game 184-175, the Denver Nuggets head coach did not hide his feelings when talking after the game. Listen up.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be a part of a great weekend, great players, but that is the worst basketball game ever played.
How do you fix it?
I don't know if you can fix it. I mean, I give Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, those guys were like competing. Joel was imploring some of the guys to play harder, to try to get some defense in, but no one got hurt. They put on a show for the fans, but that is a tough game to sit through, I'm not going to lie.
Okay, Stephen A., starting with you here. Did you enjoy the All-Star game? Be honest with America.
Hell no. And by the way, I'm always honest. I don't lie. People are not important enough to lie to, okay?
I was just ad-libbing. Go ahead. I wasn't alluding to that. It was just TV talk.
I'm just letting you know. Hell no, I didn't enjoy it. There's a couple of things. Number one, I applaud Mike Malone so much. He's such a great coach, great guy, and he's right on the money. The reality of the situation, here's what's inexcusable. It's pathetic as the all-pro game was in football. It's kind of understandable, guys, because football is a violent sport, and we get all of that. And I'm not trying to say that you need to go all out as basketball players for All-Star Weekend because you got the second half of the season to consider, even though it's less than the second half of the season because you only got about 23 or 24 games left on the schedule. What I'm trying to say about the sport of basketball is that we don't need to see an all-star game taking place where you play harder in summer competition when you're working out than you do at the all-star weekend. If you can go and play in summer league competition, I don't mean summer league as in an organized league. I'm talking about go to the gym and watch these guys work out in the summertime, in the off season, okay? They're working out in the off season, and we all know they're not going all out. but they play harder than what you saw last night. There was no effort whatsoever. What we should be able to see, other than dunks, we should not be able to look at a basketball game and know that anybody could be on the court with you based on the effort you're putting on display. It just reeks of a level of arrogance and taking fans for granted that we continue to lament. So again, you know what? I just look at it from that perspective, and I applaud Coach Malone for highlighting the flagrant lack of effort. Again, in the sport of football, it's perfectly understandable, Wendy. It's perfectly understandable. In the sport of football, where you don't want to see that physicality because it's a violent sport. But in basketball, they play in the summer leagues. They play in the off season harder, considerably harder than they played yesterday. So that's just the game. The slam dunk contest, well, you know what? No pun intended, but I guess white men can jump because McClung put on a show, and he did a damn good job. And I applaud him, but I also was listening. That's right. I also want to harken back to what Vince Carter pointed out, the ultimate slam dunker, for crying out loud. Watch this brother throughout his career was something spectacular. And he talked about the want it factor, how badly McClung wanted to be there. So if you're an NBA player out there, particularly NBA All-Stars, I want you to take this into perspective. A G League player won the slam dunk contest. He showed up at All-Star Weekend, wanted it badly, and out-dunked supposedly the greatest basketball players on the planet. And we all
Stephen
know.
We're going to get into that in just a little bit.
Sure, no problem. And so we get all of that, right? Thank God for Damian Lillard, because when we thought about the three-point contest, I'm like, what the hell is Julius Randle doing in this three-point contest? Adam Silver, who I love him as a commissioner, love him as a person, that's my buddy. The NFL, the last 3 Super Bowls, all right, or the last 2 and then next year, L.A., Glendale, Arizona, and to next year's Las Vegas. And what is the NBA giving us? Last year was Cleveland. This year's Utah, and next year's Indianapolis. Come on, y'all. Listen, respect to those cities. You understand what I'm saying? Great sports towns and all of that other stuff. But all-star festivities is supposed to be a very festive atmosphere, okay? It ain't supposed, I know people gonna show up anyway, but damn, can you give us some warm cities? Can you give us some city with some vibe? A party time. It's supposed to be festive, you know. And so for me, I just look at it from that perspective, and no, I wasn't turned on by it one bit. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, there's a reason why those cities are getting it, and that's the situation that nobody talks about, and that is that it's kind of a quid pro quo. And look, I'm from Cleveland. I'm not, it was great for Cleveland to have the All-Star game last year, but the reason Cleveland got it was because they gave public money to renovate the arena. The reason Salt Lake got it was because they gave public money to renovate the arena. And guess why Indianapolis is giving it? Let's take a guess. They got public money to renovate the arena. It's, hey, if you throw us some money to help out our owners, here it comes. Now, good news, Stephen A. 2025 hasn't been assigned yet. Los Angeles announced that they're going to bid for it. That's a safe bet that it's going back to LA in 2025. But that is the undercurrent of all of this, which is that it's really not about the basketball. And over the last decade in the NBA, there's been a steady erosion of interest and investment in the regular season. And Adam Silver has given a thumbs up to it the entire way. And it goes right over to All-Star Weekend. He has given the players less responsibility. They used to have to be there on Friday. Now they don't have to be there till Saturday. And by the way, several players didn't even show up this year until Sunday.
That's right.
He gave them, changed the schedule so that they would have 3 or 4 days after it so that you weren't penalized for being an all-star. So you could still go to Mexico or the Caribbean or wherever else you wanted to go and still have your time off. And still the game has completely fallen to pieces. It was 130 three-pointers taken in this game. It is essentially just a shooting display now. And Adam Silver doesn't care. He has totally said that this is fine. There is no pushback whatsoever. So if you continue to allow the players to do this stuff, I don't blame them. They're going to continue to do it. And if you continue to send a message to your fans, the regular season isn't important, and the NBA is about to do it again because they're about to ratify a collective bargaining agreement where they're going to create a midseason tournament that they're going to say is actually more important than the other games. If you continue to tell your fans that these games don't matter and that your effort level is not expected, the fans are ultimately going to believe you. And that is, there is a number of reasons why we have seen a fall off in ratings in the NBA over the last decade, but this is definitely a factor to it. And people can explain it away, but the reality is also the reality.
All right. We'll keep it rolling here. SA, I didn't know if you were going to respond there.
No, I'm saying I know we got more questions, so I was following your lead, Molly, when you told me that we had more to bring in. I was trying to defer. I was being deferential, Snow White. I really was. Let's go. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.